everyone, welcome to FOPY'sCreations. I'm actually in the middle of making something, and I suddenly thought you might like to see what I was doing. So I think I've said to you several times I wanted to make a puff, like a footrest, because I've got so many scraps to use up that I can stuff it with. And I thought, right, a nice big one would be good, which was a bit thoughtless really, because I was letting afterwards, once I'd made it, or at least made the inner bit, I thought, where am I going to put it, because we haven't got that much floor space here. I did think about putting it in the Jeep, but then I thought it might not be very practical for in there either. So in the end, I just happened to mention it to a friend, and she said that her mum needs a footrest. She's been in hospital fairly recently, and she needs a footrest because the chairs, they're like the sort of chairs they give you when you come out of hospital, so you sat upright and everything. She's got quite short legs, and so her feet don't touch the floor. So she gave me the measurements and said, you know, would you mind? It was spur of the moment, to be perfectly honest, but she said, would you mind if you've got enough to make a footrest for mum? Brilliant. So in the end, because I decided the other one was too big, and I've got loads of obviously stuffing left now again to try and think of another project for the rest of it, but I've already done the outside, and I've done it with quite a substantial upholstery fabric. It's not very easy to see when it's not stuffed, but I've done the top like this, so I pliqued this sort of sun rays and put a button in the middle, and it's going to be, it's about 15 inches or 41 centimetres deep. I've put I've fastened it. Let's get hold of this. It's very strong, this what they call it, hook and loop. Can't always say Velcro anyway. So I've done it with a Velcro fastening, so that'd be easy to get it out if it needs, this cover needs washing. And as I say, it's a really good substantial thing, so it will be, I think it'd be just right. I've done it to the height that she asked for. So because all of the fabric pieces are still in the old puff that I made, I've had to make another like a cushion you do for a cushion. It's just a lining to hold all of these scraps in inside. So I've now used this is another old curtain that someone gave me. So I've got two pieces like that, which it measured 22 all the way around, so it's 44 across. So I've got two of those, top and bottom, and then I've got the piece that goes all around the outside. So I'm now going to put that together, and then I shall stuff it with the pieces again. Right, let's get my machine ready. There, just wanted to quickly show you, that is, well, that's what's left. I've filled a shopping bag with the scraps, and that's what I've got left. So I don't think I'll still be using all of that. So as I say, I'm going to have to find another project that I can stuff that with, but it's good because it comes to a good weight and it makes it good. I'm going to just run it through round with the serger, just because of what it is, and it's going to probably get a bit of abuse. I want to make sure that the seams don't give way because the fabric's frayed or whatever. So I'll just move you across so you can see me at the serger rather than looking at my back. Please ignore all this mess, you know I'm dealing with a very small space here. Okay, it seems one of my threads has come out, so I've got to, it's anything with a serger, when you do it and you've got these 4 threads, you have to do it in a certain sequence, or the machine doesn't always run through properly, so I've got to rethread the whole thing. I'll put you on time lapse so you don't have to watch all of that. Okay, start with number 1. And follow the red sequence of dots. So it's not that hard. It's just fiddly sometimes, annoying when the same with the sewing machine, when it breaks the thread. It's really annoying when you've got to do it again. If you want to, I could show you closer up if anybody wants to see how I thread it. It's obviously not easy to do for you to see from there, but so the more you do it, the more you get used to it. Now we follow the blue route, which is number 3. This one goes into the left needle. I seem to have a really good run of threading my needles not too long ago, and the last few days I've been struggling, but that wasn't too bad. Yellow, so the yellow one has to, you can't see it, but there's a little more of a bit underneath that you have to go through. Okay, now I need the last one, the green route, follow that round, up, over, through the hook, and now I'm going through the right needle. There you go. God, that was lucky, first time with that one. Then you just pray that you've threaded it and everything's okay. So grab a scrap and just try it out. There we go, just this little bit. There we go. That's already, I know you probably can't see it, but okay, let's do this one. As you know, I've said before, going around in circular is not always so easy. I've moved you over a little bit just in case you wanted to see. Right. Let's see, we're going to now clip these together. Let's get the middle point there. Oh, I've done it the wrong way round. Right sides together. Okay, right sides together now. I'll clip it together. All the way around. It's the first poof I've made. I don't know if I've said that already now, but it's the first one I've made, so I've been winging it a bit. I had to make my own pattern. Wasn't that difficult really. Sharon and I were talking today, wondering about doing, maybe making candles. We might, Sharon's made them before, so for a change it'd be Sharon showing me how, so I think that would be quite a nice video. And we were talking about making bath bombs as well. It's never something I've thought about because I don't actually have a bath, we only have showers. But that might make a change, mightn't it, do something like that? Whether any of you have made them before, I don't know, but I've never made a candle. Excuse me. That's that clipped all the way round. Now what I did with my side strip, I didn't join the two ends until I knew for sure that I had enough to go all the way round. So what I've then done, I've got the side seam now to sew before I finish clipping the top, so I know it's going to fit perfectly. Right, now let's match that up. That's it, perfect match now. There we go. So now I'm going to sew all around there. This is much lighter than working with the main fabric. That was very heavy to work with. Okay, let's... And I've obviously got to remember when I do the other, the bottom part, to leave a gap for stuffing. I've been reading up a lot about this diet I'm on. It's, and I've been seeing that there's lots of keto snacks and things, and yesterday made myself some cheesecake brownies. Lovely. So it's a nice treat after the evening meal, as long as I have them within my 6 hour window of eating. Sugar-free treats, and they're quite rich because it's all made with the like 90% cocoa chocolate, but the cheesecake sort of part of it takes the edge off of that, and they're really nice. It's nice to know I've got something to look forward to. So I made like a slab and cut it into 16 portions. Duncan had one last night as well, he liked it. Which is dangerous really, because they're supposed to be mine. He does like cake. It's the only downside of doing a circular seam. You have to stop and start all the time to make sure your seams stay edge to edge. I could have tacked it, but I'm impatient to get this done because my friend's waiting, so I'm not waiting here this minute, but I did say I'd try and get it done today. She's quite excited about it, and she's getting a bespoke puff. I suppose it is. I've done a few sewing jobs for these particular friends. That I recovered all of her caravan, all their caravan cushions, because they were old and old-fashioned, so I've covered all of those. I've taken up trousers for them, and yeah, it's just nice to do things for friends. I'll put a new zip in one of her coats. So I think they trust me now. Little tuck there, I misjudged that a little bit, but it's only a little bit, and it is only the liner. Right. Oh. Okay, so that's that end's done. Now I've got to pin together the other side. I'll come back to you for that in a minute. Nearly there. There we go. Now we're going to turn it the other way round and put in our fabric scraps to stuff it. It's hard to imagine it when it's all this empty and it looks like that. Right, now I'm going to have to lift that fabric and you're going to see quite a mess. And I know I'm off camera at the minute, but bear with me. There we go. It's a whole load of fabric for me to put into this. Okay, when I edit this I'll have to speed it up for you because you don't want to see me doing this the whole time. There we go. There's all sorts of scraps in here. All different sizes, but all things I can't really do anything else with other than this. I could sew lots of bits of fabric together. I've done that before, as you've probably seen when I've made other things, made from patchwork basically. Took me a long time to stuff it when I made this big one, but obviously this is about a third of the size, so hopefully it won't take me so long. Test is going to be now whether I can get this inside the actual main fabric. Fingers crossed. As I said before, the fabric just gives it a good weight. You couldn't just use normal stuffing for something like this, I don't think. Normal like what you'd use for a cushion, because being this it's going to be on the floor and sat on or feet rested on, it needs to be quite substantial and heavy to stay in place. Fabric going all over the floor, so I've got some clearing up to do when I've finished. Got a lovely video coming up in a couple of weeks. Duncan and I went to the well-known and quite famous town of Le Mans, known for the 24-hour Le Mans racing car event. First, we've been there a few times to buy things, but it's the first time we'd properly looked around and properly absorbed it all, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's preserved quite well. Lots of cobbled streets and museums, and the cathedral from the outside looks stunning. You don't know if you normally can, but we didn't get to be able to look inside, unfortunately. But we got quite a lot of footage, so that's my next challenge, to edit that. But yeah, probably be a couple of weeks before that's up on FOPY's France. Now, I don't want to pack this too tight because it needs to be fairly flexible for me to get inside the outer fabric. And so, as I showed you, I've done a Velcro or hook and loop fastening on it, and I am concerned whether it will come out easy enough, but it was quite hard to know because I wanted to make it that you could take the cover off and wash it. So what I'll have to do is hand sew this up afterwards. Okay, let's see if I can get it in the outer fabric now. Whew. I think it might be a bit of a challenge. Okay, if I look a bit frazzled, that's because I am. Once I'd finished the stuffing, and then I tried to put it inside this, I couldn't get it inside my opening because it was just too bulky. So I had to unpack it, at least half of it, so that I could squash it down enough to put it in, and then repack it. So my hope of my friend being able to take the cover off to wash it, well, that hope has been dashed. Unless she unstuffs it every time to take it off. But I'm quite pleased with how it turns out. I think it's what she's looking for. Obviously once I'd stuffed the inside, I'd seal it as I usually do with my little invisible stitch. But you can see there's the Velcro fastening, and that's what the top looks like. It's quite heavy, as I say, it should be to stay in place, and I think that should serve her mum quite well. So I'm sorry you didn't see every single stage, but you really didn't want to hear me cursing, and yeah, it was hard work. So I hope you enjoy that, and if you're going to make one, I would say, well, prepare for some hard work. Bye.